Settling, grounding and resting with the support of sound as we notice our attitude. It's the attitude we're learning to gently shape. The thoughts are as they are. We don't need to change those. Just kindly shape our attitude a little bit. So finding a comfortable physical space, checking in with our posture. And setting our intention for this practice. And our intention is to just approach this practice with a light touch, kindness to self, with the intention that we'll just use our breath support or our touchstone at any point we realise that light touch has become a heavier touch. And the motivation for this is that when we begin to become aware of our attitude and take a gap moment, mind the gap, it slightly slows down our life and brings ease to it, even in the most difficult of days, however tiny the gap is. And our body starts to instinctively respond rather than react. And our response is a choice, it's empowering, even if it seems so tiny. Our response is a more easeful moment. And the outcome is that others around us respond too. So, dropping our awareness just onto our breath in this familiar way. The breath that's always with us. The breath that settles the parasympathetic nervous system. It settles the mind. Becoming aware of the physical sensation of our breathing and really placing our mind just on our breath. As we drop in the counting, or maybe we use phrases, we're beginning to realise what suits us best now. 3 to 4 on each breath lengthens it out very slightly whilst keeping it comfortable. Maybe our breath is quite audible to us in this quiet moment. And when we notice our minds are already wandering and dancing about, or our body feels fidgety, that's okay. Once we've noticed that, we just, with kindness, bring our awareness back to our breath again, following it in and out. Knowing that we are settling our minds, bringing ourselves comfort. And on the next 2 breaths, on the out breath, maybe making that an audible out breath and noticing our shoulders drop and our body physically relax, allowing it to relax a little bit. And again. As we then take our attention down to our feet and imagine running a scanner from our feet gradually all the way up our body, right up to the tips of our head as our body scan today. Checking in first with our posture and our feet, and maybe having our feet flat on the floor for an extra strong connection with the earth beneath us. The earth that supports our body that's always in the moment and supports our mind. How do our feet feel? Temperature, sensations. And already we'll be noticing the spiral of thoughts coming out from what we notice and the distraction arising. So we notice this and we bring our minds back with kindly attention to continue the scan up our lower legs. Right up to the point of our knee joints. What do we notice? Becoming aware. Nowhere else to be. Nothing else to do in this moment but just to rest here, noticing our bodies. Whatever our body is telling us in this moment. Scanning on up our upper legs. All the way, noticing the point of contact with the chair beneath us. Maybe our hands are resting in our laps and there's a sense of heat between hand and leg. Allowing ourselves to tune in on that. And being aware when our mind is jumping here and there. That's okay. With kindness, we bring it back again as many times as we need to. Just to our body scan. Scanning gradually from that point of our seat on the chair up our lower body, our lower torso. Our tummy is an area we hold so much tension, and maybe our lower back. Just checking in. If we notice tension, remember we have our breath. We can breathe in. Imagine that breath spreading to the area of tension and holding it softly. And on the exhale, releasing a bit of the tension. And we can choose to do that whenever we need to. Moving our awareness gradually up our spine and taking in our whole upper torso, our heart center. Maybe we notice our breath becoming a bit more shallow as thoughts arise, slowing it down again and allowing ourselves to settle in this part of our body, just as we notice whatever we notice. That area between our shoulder blades, the swirling emotions in our chest. How does that feel physically? Tuning into the physical response. Our body that is always in the moment and will tell us first if we just look. Shifting our attention away from our thoughts and down into our bodies. Checking in with your arms, from the tip of the shoulder and underneath in the armpit, right down your arms to your elbows and your hands. Choosing to really tune into your hands, turn them over and stretch out your palms and notice the change of air motion and heat. Maybe your fingers begin to tingle, or maybe there's numbness. What do you notice? Placing your awareness just in the palms of your hands. Before scanning back up to the point where your spine runs up into your skull. And checking in with your whole head experience. And as you zone in there, maybe sensations become more strong as you become more aware of them in that part of your body. Tuning in. As your mind wanders, as it will, that's okay. Your mindful moment is when you've realised that's what's happened. You notice where your thoughts are, and you return with kindness just to checking in with your body scan, placing your awareness on different parts of your head. Maybe the taste in your mouth even. Before expanding our awareness out now, taking our focus out right across the whole body experience. Checking in, the body that is always in the present. Expanding out this broad sense of awareness. From the tip of your head to the tippy toes of your feet. And landing right here in the resting phase of your meditation. Resting here in this space of expansive awareness, allowing yourself to just be aware of the busyness of your mind, the fidgetiness of your body if it is, or maybe the relaxed ness of this moment, or maybe not much at all. With a light touch, simply resting here in this space now, following the breath, gently following your breath as your support, resting here using that as your support, whilst you simply watch what arises. You'll notice thoughts, emotions. Maybe you'll notice a familiar response, a familiar habit. How do you feel about what you feel? This attitude is within us all. It's how our brains have evolved. But we can find a moment to simply respond by saying, this is me. This is busy, this is painful, this is easy and comfortable. Whatever you notice, we can shape this by just saying, this is what I do, and I'm okay about this. This is what arises. My thoughts are simply the flow of my life's experience. They're not permanent or fixed. And I can observe them with an attitude of kindness, kindness to me. And in my daily life, whenever I realize I'm following my thoughts, I can take a moment to pause and check in with how I feel about these thoughts. And I can turn to my breath that settles my mind. It eases my awareness away from the thoughts and the worries and places it in the present moment, simply on my breath and my body, and settles that nervous system, the parasympathetic nervous system. My wonderful, beautiful breath. So with a light touch, resting here, observing the flow of my life's experience, knowing that I can turn to my breath as my support whenever I need to. With just a light touch, a playfulness as I watch. And when I notice my emotions feel a bit more charged, or my body is a little bit more fidgety and I'm lifting up out of this resting space into my thinking world again, I choose to turn to just following the breath again. And whenever I'm meditating in this way, even for a moment, there's a point where I know that the pressure is too much and it's time to ease off the pedal and end my meditation whenever I feel is fit. I'm leading the way. I always end this meditation by following my breath. So all of us now, easing out of the resting phase towards the end of the meditation practice by following the breath that's always with us, refreshing our bodies. The body that always supports the mind. If we just listen to it. And expanding our awareness out now to take in the air around our whole body experience, movement in the room around us, maybe light on the back of our eyelids. Allowing ourselves to widen out our focus, and tune in a little bit to the sounds beyond the room and the sense of people and life beyond the room. Choosing to carry with us any felt sense of kindness and rest, rippling out into the rest of our world and the next moments and hours of our day. We've created this feeling within us, using our breath and our body. And just being kind to ourselves with our attitude. Carrying this sense of okayness into the rest of our day as we come to the end of the practice.